Right, for question 1, the way that we're going to work out this derivative is we have the natural log of e to the 3x, and we have our properties of just regular natural log of e to the x is just equal to x, and we can simplify before we do the derivative. So for this problem, it's just going to be 3x, and now we can do our derivative of 3x, which is going to give us 3. So our answer choice should be A. For our next problem, we need to do the chain rule. We're going to have the derivative of the outside times the derivative of the inside. So the derivative of the outside, we're going to have 2/3 times x squared minus 2x minus 1 to the negative 1/3 times the derivative of the inside, which is going to give us 2x minus 2. Now we want to find this derivative's value at 0, so I'm going to substitute in a 0, and it looks like we're going to have a negative 1 to the negative 1/3 left times the negative 2. 2/3 times that negative up here means 1 over, and then the 1/3 power means the cube root of negative 1 times the negative 2. And here we're going to have 2/3 times negative 1 times negative 2. So it looks like we're going to have a positive 4/3. For this problem, we need to find the second derivative, but again, we have to start with the first derivative, and I'm actually going to start out by rewriting this. So we have y equals 2 cosine of 1/2 x. Now let's do the derivative. So y prime equals, and that 2 is just going to be brought down. It's part of your coefficient, times the derivative of cosine of an angle. It's going to be negative sine of that angle times the derivative of the angle. And I would simplify this a little bit more before I do the second derivative just to make things easier. So we're really looking at the derivative of negative sine of 1/2 x. So we have now the second derivative. That negative does come down, and the derivative of sine of an angle is cosine of that angle times the derivative of the angle. So it looks like the answer choice we get is going to be B. Our next problem, again, more derivative practice, and this time it looks like we have the quotient rule. So f prime of x is going to be the bottom times the derivative of the top, and the derivative of e to the stuff is going to be stuff prime times e to the stuff. So there's the bottom derivative of the top, and then we're going to do minus top, so e to the 2x times the derivative of the bottom, and this is all over bottom squared. Okay, and so let's see, what else can we do with this? Looks like we've got some simplifying. I'm looking over at my answer choices, and so it looks like I've got another step or two in our simplifying. Now this 2 here and this 2 here, that's going to be 4x e to the 2x minus 2e to the 2x, and that's all over 4x squared. Now be careful, because a lot of times people want to cancel the 4's, and you can't do that. What you can do though is notice that every one of these numbers that I'm circling, they all have a 2 in common, and that's what you need to cancel. So when we cancel that, we're going to have 2x e to the 2x minus e to the 2x all over 2x squared. And again, notice we've got our denominator 2x squared, so we can cancel out those two. And then looking at our answer choices, it looks like they factored out an e to the 2x. And if I do that, then I'm going to have a 2x minus 1 left. So that's going to be answer choice C. Our final problem that we're looking at, we are going to try to find the horizontal tangent. And so notice it's asking at what particular point. So that means we need to, 1, find our derivative because we're talking about tangent line, and set it equal to 0 because it says horizontal. So we're going to say 0 equals, and let's do our derivative, and that's going to be the product rule. So we have first times the derivative of the second, so that's going to be negative 2 e to the negative 2x plus e to the negative 2x times the derivative of the first. So let's see what we have here. We have 0 equals negative 2x e to the negative 2x plus e to the negative 2x. So it looks like we have a greatest common factor of e to the negative 2x, so I'm going to factor that out. And left over is negative 2x plus 1. And setting these all equal to 0. Now, e to the negative 2x equals 0. Remember, e is just a number. So that 2-point stuff can't ever be equal to 0. So we're just going to ignore that portion. Now, this portion here, we do need to set equal to 0. So I have negative 2x plus 1 equals 0. So it looks like x is going to be a positive 1/2. And notice it does ask for at what point, but notice that we have x coordinate of positive 1/2, and there's only one x coordinate with positive 1/2. So our answer has to be B.